Last week, I told you who I am and why I coach the women I coach.
This week, I want to talk about something that I see every single summer. So, right now, it's 32 degrees outside, and if you're lucky enough to live down south, I think we're about to hit in the near 40s, which is wild, right?
But it's also just under 4 weeks until the official start of the school summer holidays. And at this point, most women I know will suddenly panic diet to try and lose 4 to 8 pounds before their holiday. And if you're listening to this, I guarantee you have done it at least once in your life. Now, I totally understand, right? The thought of being in a bikini, basically you're in your underwear, right? Next to a pool or on the beach with strangers looking at you. It's really overwhelming. It's really daunting. And there's no other point in our lives, especially here, people who live in the UK, right? There's no other point in your lives where you're literally prancing around in your underwear for everybody to see every single element of your body. So I completely, fully respect how overwhelming and how daunting that can be. Is it possible to lose 4 to 8 pounds in 4 weeks? Absolutely it is. But you and I both know that you should have started this ages ago. You and I both know that the ideal scenario is to be, though I hate this term, bikini body ready all year round, right? Imagine if you get a phone call from your mate and she's like, are you free this weekend? And you're like, why? And she's like, I've got us tickets to go to Palma for the weekend. Are you in? We're going to go to a beach club. It'll be absolutely mental. I'm paying for it. What's the first thought that goes through your head? My guess that if your first thought isn't, oh my God, that sounds amazing, count me in, and it also isn't, who's going to look after the kids, then it's, shit, I'm going to be in a bikini and I'm not ready. Now, let's be realistic. The reason we're not ready is because life is busy. We don't need to feel the pressure of putting our bodies on show most of the time. So why would we put in that effort when we sort of don't need to? I totally get that. And 99% of the time, we're covered up. I mean, probably half of our husbands don't even see us naked nowadays. I totally get it. But then the flip side of that is, what's that doing to your health? What's that doing to your confidence? If you're having to crash diet every single year to feel good about yourself in a bikini, at some point, my argument would be, something needs to change. Like, wouldn't it be amazing to say yes to that phone call? I mean, would it be amazing to get that phone call in the first place? But wouldn't it be amazing to say yes to that phone call? Okay, so let me guess. We're 4 weeks out and you're like, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to eat any carbs. I'm going to start doing more cardio. I'm going to cut out wine before I go. I am massively going to up my step count and I'm basically going to hibernate for 4 weeks to drop a few pounds. Sound familiar? And you might even do a juice cleanse, do a 5-day fast, join some random app that guarantees insane results. I mean, come on, who's not seen the military calisthenics one? It's absolute, utter garbage. Doing 7 minutes of HIIT twice a day will not help you lose 32 pounds, contrary to what the adverts tell you. But not only that, girls, trying to get that result, no foundations or infrastructure in place. So you're still managing all the kids' activities, and it's wild this time of year, isn't it? You've got year 6 performances, you've got exams, though I realise they've kind of finished now. You've also got sports day, you've got end of year parties, you've got school discos. Not to mention the mental load of the 6 weeks of the kids being off school and trying to manage all of their kids' clubs. Then you're trying to hold down your own career and actually make a living and also make sure that you get everything done before the school holidays because you know you're not going to put in the full effort over 6 weeks. Then you're trying to be a good wife and you're trying to have a social life. In and amongst all that, trying to lose 4 to 8 pounds, that's an insane ask on yourself. And you're going to put a lot of stress on your body and you're going to be underfueled and you're going to be exhausted. Will it be worth it so that you feel good for a week? Maybe. That's all down to the individual. Can you sustain it? Absolutely not. Will you put it all back on holiday? Very, very, very likely. But what happens? How do you feel when you do lose 8 pounds in 4 weeks? I want you to think about that. Like, how do you actually feel? Do you feel happier? Do you feel more confident? Are you now looking forward to putting your swimsuit on? Will it mean that you stop worrying what people think? Or, and hear me out, are you still going to spend half the time worrying about the cellulite on your thighs, what your stomach looks like, what everyone else looks like? And then realise nobody's looking at you because everybody is worrying about themselves or the children drowning in the pool. Can we also acknowledge that children are the greatest body confidence distraction ever invented? Because you spend 6 weeks, 4 weeks, however long, worrying about what you look like in a swimsuit. And then as soon as you get to the pool, one of the kids needs a wee, one of them's lost their goggles, one of them's crying because the pool's too cold, one of them needs an ice cream, one of them needs to be in the shade, one of them needs sun cream reapplying. I don't know how many kids you've got here, but you get the gist. And all of a sudden, you literally haven't given what you look like a second thought. And let me tell you, when you're suddenly having to jump in and rescue your 7-year-old from the inflatable that they've already stolen from another child, you're really not going to be thinking, oh, I wonder if people are looking at my cellulite right now. But look, I get it. The world we live in and the constant comparison on social media and the expectations, especially on women, as to how we should look in a swimsuit is unreal. Like, I feel like we should be moving towards a period where women are seen for who they are, for their personality, for everything else that they bring to the table. We're not. We're still judged on how we look, and we still compare ourselves to other women, and we still judge other women. And I don't know how we break out of this cycle, because I'm not saying men don't care, they absolutely do, but men don't sweat it so much in terms of what they're going to look like in their swim shorts. Most men, not all, granted. And they don't for one second think that people will think of them a certain way or not like them because they look a certain way. It's all built into our self-worth as women, and social media fuels it. I've seen clips on social media how to pose to look skinny in your swimsuit. And yeah, we all want to look good in pictures, but all that's doing is fueling the idea that you don't look good just as you are. Because now women are like, oh, hang on a minute. If I stick my bum out like this and I hold my waist in like that, then I'm going to look good in the picture, so that when I show people the picture, they'll be like, oh, wow, you look amazing in a swimsuit. How about people going, oh, wow, looks like you had an amazing time on holiday? And we've lost sight of that. And I'm not saying that's ever going to stop, right? Because ultimately, we're always going to feel this pressure to look a certain way, especially when we're on holiday. And I actually don't, contrary to kind of what I've been saying, I don't actually think it's a bad thing that we strive to get in better shape before holiday. But what I don't agree with and what I don't think is healthy is the crash dieting and the way that we have, especially in the past, gone about losing those pounds, and also the reason behind it. Because the reason behind it is so that we are a bit slimmer in a swimsuit for vanity reasons, let's be really honest, not because we're thinking I need to be healthier and fitter on holiday. And they are two completely different things. And in reality, all of the stuff you see on social media, I would say, especially with the people who are actively going on and on about this stuff, they have not done it healthily. Most of them are not healthy people. Most of them have got some degree of body dysmorphia. Most of them, and I have seen it when I've been on holiday recently, do not relax for 1 second on holiday. They spend the whole time sitting the right way, holding their stomachs in, lifting their chest, flicking their hair. It's not living your life, is it? It's not what holidays are about at all. So you can't compare yourself to these women that put stuff on social media with their matching outfits and their perfectly groomed kids and their flat stomachs and their toned legs with no cellulite, because it's not real life, and also it's not fun. Slight change of direction. While we're talking about the warmer weather and going on holiday, let's just touch on alcohol and the warmer weather. We live in a very alcohol-fueled culture in the UK, and especially our generation, the millennials, are renowned for being the biggest drinking generation, and really that's not something to be proud of. I love a drink like the next woman, and I will fully, wholeheartedly be transparent with you guys. I probably drink more than I should on a weekend. I have an abundant social life, and I'm very grateful for that, and a lot of it does revolve around wine. However, I will not go and randomly go to a beer garden just because the sun is out. Old me would have done in my 20s and even actually in my early 30s, but now definitely not. I have hard boundaries about drinking, especially during the week. If there is not a social occasion and I'm not with friends for birthday or whatever, I won't just go and have a drink just because the sun's out. And that, I have realised, is quite a big problem in our generation, and especially in Britain. And I know you feel it too, and I know you feel the pressure. And I know it goes through your head, oh, it's just one glass of wine. It's not sunny that often. Oh, a cold glass of rosé, just sat in the garden. What a treat, that would be amazing. But it's not a treat, is it? Because you do it every time the sun comes out, and you know that it's going to make you puffy. You know it's going to make you bloated. You can absolutely have the wine, but it's when it spirals into Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Oh, well, Thursday, it's now the weekend, so I might as well carry on. Friday night, Saturday night. Well, Sunday's still the weekend. So next thing you know, you've had alcohol 7 days out of 7, and you're wondering why your weight won't shift when you're trying to lose weight, and you're wondering why your mood's low, and you're wondering why your skin's shit. Sorry for swearing. It's not a coincidence, and it's something you're going to have to take responsibility, and something has to change. But that transpires into holiday, doesn't it? Because when the sun comes out in Britain, we think we're on holiday, but we're not on holiday. We're still working. But because the sun's out, we like to make ourselves feel like we're on holiday. So we'll open up the wine, or we'll open up a cold beer. And especially now with it being World Cup season, well, another great excuse to have a drink, right? Because England are playing. It all adds up. And if you're not bothered, fine. It's your body, it's your life. I'm not one to judge. You do what you want. You've got to stop making excuses as to why you feel the way you do, and you can't lose the weight when you're not willing to open your eyes to your own behaviour. And I think that applies to a lot of us, and that might be a little bit of an uncomfortable truth for you to hear. But honestly, saying no to that first glass, if you, like me, have hard boundaries in place, especially across the week, saying no to that first glass is the hardest. After that, you won't miss it. But I guarantee if you say yes to that first glass and say one won't hurt, next thing you know, you probably will have had 2 or 3 glasses. So it's just about taking responsibility for your own actions and being completely aware that, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to Stephen Bartlett you all. 2 glasses of wine should not ruin your life. That's a problem. But it's being aware of your own behaviour, isn't it? And taking accountability for it. And it's rarely the glass of wine. It's the decisions that are made after the glass of wine. Look, I've gone off on a usual tangent, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Rather than focusing on losing 4 to 8 pounds over the next 4 weeks before your summer holiday, which I'm not saying you can't do, you absolutely can. I want you to focus on losing 4 to 8 pounds, not just for your summer holiday, but because it's going to improve your health, because it's going to improve your confidence throughout your entire life, not just in a swimsuit, because it's going to give you more energy. I want you to do it in a sustainable way where you're drinking more water, getting more sleep, upping your daily movement, but not in a punishing, like, I've got to burn all these calories way, in a, I want to be fitter and healthier and stronger way. And then stepping onto that plane and knowing that you have not only lost some weight and feel much better in your body, but that you are on a journey to this being part of your identity. So that when your mate calls you, and she will, manifesting that for you, when your mate calls you and says, mate, let's go to Palma this weekend, you go, yes, I want to get in my swimsuit. I feel great. That's how I want you to approach it. Not a quick fix, not some crazy fad diet or like punishing workouts or anything like that. I want you to approach it from okay, this is going to be the last year that I need to get in shape for holiday, because from now on out, I will always be in a shape that I am confident in for my holiday. Now go and enjoy the hot weather. Don't drink any new wine, unless you want to ruin your life for 3 days, joking. But just be mindful of the choices you make, because the more you build that consistency forever, the fewer times you're ever going to have to worry about getting in a swimsuit. And ultimately, that's what it's about. Body confidence forever, feeling fit forever, feeling healthy forever, being that woman around the pool that gives zero about what people think of her. Not because you necessarily look like the fittest person there, but because you are confident in your own body and what it can do and what it has achieved and how strong it is and how healthy it is. Until next time, peace.